You're leaving thousands of dollars on the table every tax season, and you probably don't even realize it. Hey there, I'm Mark Des Cotes, and I founded Resourceful Designer to help graphic and web designers like you succeed with your design business, including keeping more of the money you earn. They say there are only two guarantees in life, death and taxes. Well, today we're talking about the latter. Tax season hits, and suddenly you're digging through drawers, hunting through emails, hoping you haven't lost a single receipt from the previous entire year. Sound familiar? I've been there. For years, my system wasn't a system at all. It was chaos. But here's what I learned after running my own design business for years. There's a massive gap between what designers should be claiming and what they are actually claiming. And that difference adds up fast. The thing is, most designers are incredible at what they do, creating beautiful work, landing clients, and building portfolios. But when it comes to taxes, that's where things fall apart. You either ignore deductions entirely, or you just claim the obvious ones and miss the rest. Well, today I want to change that for you. Now, before I go any further, I have to disclose two things. First, I am not a tax specialist, and any tips or advice I give you in this video should be verified by a certified tax specialist before claiming them on your taxes. And second, taxes vary depending on where you live. What I share in this video applies to most areas, but once again, please check with your CPA or other certified tax specialist before following any of my advice. Now, with that bit out of the way, let's start with the foundation, your home office. If you're working from home, and a lot of freelance designers are, you've got more tax benefits available to you than you probably think. But here's the catch. You need an actual dedicated space to claim most of them. I'm not talking about your kitchen table where you work between breakfast and dinner before your family takes it over again at night. I'm talking about a real room. It could be a dedicated office like I have, could be a spare bedroom, a corner of the basement, or anywhere else that you've claimed as your own. Even a closet, if that's all you've got. Why? It's because Mr. Taxman wants to see that this space is only for your business. If you can point to 4 walls and say, "This is my office," everything inside those 4 walls becomes deductible. Now, once you've identified that office space, you calculate what percentage of your home's total square footage it represents. So let's say the office is 15% of your home's square footage. That 15% applies to everything related to keeping your home business running. 15% of your mortgage, deductible. 15% of your electric bill, deductible. 15% of your gas, your water, your property taxes, all of it. Now, some places handle this a little bit different. In the States, there's a per square foot calculation, but the principle is pretty well the same. If you can prove you have a dedicated office space, you can claim that same percentage against major home expenses. For example, last year I replaced some windows in my home, and I was able to claim the cost of my office window as a tax deduction. But it doesn't stop there. Everything you put inside those 4 walls is also a tax deduction. Your desk, your chair, your filing cabinet. If you paint the walls, that paint is deductible. So is the labor if you hire somebody to do it for you. The carpet you put on the floor, that's deductible. If you put on window dressings, curtains or blinds or shades, all of that is deductible. Your shelving, all of it. And here's something you might not have thought of, the decorations. As I look around my office right now, I can see a Doctor Who TARDIS figurine. I see a model of the Rocinante, the ship from the television show The Expanse, right behind me. There's a Darth Vader figure, and there's an official puck from the Toronto Maple Leafs. I bought all of these things for my office. They sit on my desk, they sit on the shelves, they're everywhere. And every single one of them was a tax deduction because they were bought as decorations for my office space. Even the plant that's growing in the corner over there, the one that my wife put there because she literally ran out of room in the rest of the house to put more plants. Well, that could have been deductible if it had actually been specifically purchased for my office. Now, in this case, it wasn't, so I'm not deducting it, but you get the point. If you bought it for your dedicated office space, you can likely claim it, but only if your office has 4 defined walls. Now remember that percentage we talked about? I'm using 15 for my example. You can use whatever percentage is in your actual space. Well, if you hire a cleaning service to clean your home, 15% of what you pay them is deductible, providing they clean your office as well. Vacuum bags, 15% deductible. Window cleaner? Well, if your home has 10 windows, then technically 10% of that bottle of window cleaner is deductible. Toilet paper, facial tissue, hand soap? Unless, say, somebody can prove that you never use the bathroom during working hours, all of this stuff is fair game, as long as you keep the receipts and claim them. Now, these are very small amounts individually, but combined over a year, they add up. Look at it this way. If you were renting an office space somewhere else, anything that you put in that space could be claimed on your taxes. Your home office is no different, providing once again that it's 4 walls and dedicated to your work. By the way, if you're getting any value out of this episode, please like it, and don't forget to subscribe and press the bell. I share tips and advice every week for running a successful design business. Now, let's move into actual work supplies. Everything again, deductible. Sketchbooks, pens, pencils, papers, scissors, art supplies, ink and paper for your printer, USB keys, CDs and DVDs if you still use them, all of it deductible. Your Pantone color guides? Deductible. Extra chargers for your phone and tablets? Deductibles. Then there's the bigger equipment, your computer. Now, talk to your accountant about how they want to handle that one. Some prefer to amortize the cost of a computer, a big ticket item like that, over several years, while others take it as a single write-off. The same goes for external hard drives, mobile tablets, drawing tablets, styluses, printers, monitors, webcams, lights, scanners, cameras, all the camera accessories, everything. Your phone, whether it's a landline, a cellular, or both. If it's your personal phone that you also use for your business, you can claim a portion of it. If you work, say, 8 hours a day, that's roughly 33% of your phone bill is claimable. Then there's the goldmine of software and subscriptions. Now, obviously, if you're a designer, you're probably using Adobe Creative Cloud. It's fully deductible. But so is every other piece of software you buy. Those $5 plugins, $10 font managers, stock photo subscriptions, things like Getty Images or Unsplash Pro, productivity tools like Evernote, Dropbox, Google Workspace, and any cloud storage that you pay for, VPNs and password managers, all of it. And here's something that even experienced designers sometimes miss. If you're buying something for a client job, you can still claim it as a deduction, even if you're charging the client for it. Let me repeat that because it's important. Let's say you buy stock photos for a design project and you charge your client for them, or you buy a premium plugin to add functionality to a client's website. Even if you charge the client for these items, it's 2 separate transactions. Even if your client pays you for them, you can still claim the purchases as business expenses. The same with fonts, the same with stock videos or audio clips, the same with other design resources like mockups, templates, and wireframes. Many designers don't realize this, but if you purchased it, it's deductible regardless of whether you charge your client for it. Then there's books, magazines, courses, webinars, conferences, and classes. Anything that makes you a better designer is deductible, but it goes deeper than just design-related books and those sort of things. If you work in, say, a particular niche, let's say, for example, that you design websites for, cattle ranches. Any magazine, any book, webinars, courses, or whatever that you purchase about cattle ranches are considered research for your business and are deductible. Take your family on a vacation to a cattle ranch and claim it as a business expense because that's the niche you work in. It's all research. Memberships to design organizations, professional clubs, affiliations such as AIGA or the RGD here in Canada, all of them deductible. That also includes my Resourceful Designer community, by the way. Members can claim their annual fees as an expense on their taxes. resourcefuldesigner.com/community if you want to learn more about it. And when you attend a conference or take an in-person class, everything connected to that trip is deductible. Your travel, your meals, your hotel room. Now, here's a trick you may not know about. If you stay overnight somewhere for business, whether it's at a conference or even if you have to travel somewhere to see a client and end up spending the night, Your very first dry cleaning bill upon returning home becomes deductible. Why? Because you're cleaning clothes you wore while traveling for work. Now, although clothing is not typically deductible other than in that situation, if you have your logo embroidered or screen printed on your clothing, those items now become business expenses. Some designers I know take this further and put their logo on everything they own, just to make their entire wardrobe deductible. It becomes part of their marketing. Now, I don't do that myself, but it's completely valid if you want to do it. Basically, anything you spend to promote your business is deductible. Business cards, marketing materials, ads, sponsorships, all the obvious stuff. But also think about things like thank you gifts for your clients, even gifts to your family members who help you with your business. If you brought your grandmother in to help you stuff envelopes for a client's job, and you buy her a box of chocolates as a thank you present, that's deductible. Business meals? If you take a client out to dinner and discuss business with them over the meal, you can claim that meal as a deduction. If you're out visiting a client and you stop on the way to grab lunch at a drive-thru, that's deductible as well. Your website for your own business, your web hosting, your domain registration, all of it. Even things like Photoshop actions, every paid plugin, every theme add-on you buy, it's all deductible. If you have submission fees, you're submitting your work for an award somewhere, you want to win an award, and there's a fee you have to pay, well, that fee is also deductible. When you're actually producing work for a client, everything involved is deductible. Print proofs, photocopies, envelopes, stamps, courier fees, all of it. Stock images, whether photos, vectors, or video, all deductible. And if you hire someone to help you, say a virtual assistant, a project manager, a contractor, a freelancer, that payment is deductible. You want to hire an illustrator for a certain project because you can't draw? That's deductible as well. Paying a developer to help with some web coding? Deductible. Now here's something very interesting. If you hire a family member and you put them on your payroll, you open up additional tax benefits. If, for example, you hire your spouse and offer them, say, medical benefits, things you'd have to pay for anyways. Well, now any medical expense you pay becomes a business write-off. Now, personally, I'm covered under my wife's benefits, so it doesn't apply to me, but that's worth knowing. Ask your CPA about it. Now, what about your vehicle? Track your mileage when you're traveling between your home and a client visit. That's all deductible. Now, whether you lease or own your vehicle, the cost is partially deductible for business use. So are repairs, tires, oil changes, windshield wipers, fuels, parking fees, all of it. Whatever percentage you use your vehicle for business, that percentage is deductible. Now, here's a smart trick if you happen to have both a home office and maybe another location, like maybe a couple of days a week you go to a co-working space. Well, if you're traveling between the two offices, and that's the distinction, it's not traveling from home to work, it's traveling from one office to the other, that distinction matters because it means you can claim travel expenses now. The same thing if you take your laptop to, say, a cottage and do some work there. That travel becomes business related. Although the cottage may have to include a dedicated office space, so check with your CPA on that one. Speaking of which, your accountant, their CPA, their fees are also deductible. Your lawyer fees, if you're updating contracts or anything, that's deductible. Health insurance, home insurance, and business insurance all count as well. I have a special business policy on my home insurance that covers all my office equipment. That's deductible. The fees that your bank charges you for your business account, the annual fees on your business credit card, the interest on that credit card, if you do end up carrying a balance, all of it is deductible. And donations to charity are deductible as long as you have a receipt. Now, here's a trick I've been using for years, and I love this. If you do pro bono work for a registered charity, instead of doing the work for free, make this deal with them. Invoice them for your time and the full cost of the project. Have them pay you. They have to pay you. And then donate that exact amount back to the charity. You then get a receipt for the donation. They basically get their work done at zero cost because you're giving the money back. And you both have documented records of money exchanging hands that both can claim on your taxes. So you get to claim the donation they get to claim the expense. It's a win-win. Now, the reason I'm telling you all of this is simple. Every single deduction you find increases the amount of money that stays in your pocket. And many home-based business owners don't take full advantage of what they're allowed to claim. Now, once again, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a tax professional. Everything I've shared comes from over 2 decades of running my own business and working with a really good accountant. So please talk to a tax professional before claiming anything. A good accountant can work magics with your numbers, especially if you combine your taxes with your spouse's. It's amazing what they can do. And the difference between doing your taxes yourself and hiring a professional often pays for itself many times over. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope you found it interesting. Thanks for listening, and until next time, stay creative.